Good evening. Thank you all for coming to the Springfield user group. This is the very first user group in Springfield. I am Kalpana Krishnamurthy, and I'm the CEO of bitsIO Inc. We are the Splunk Partner of the Year. We are so proud to have achieved that award. Um, bitsIO is heavily Splunk sharp, and we help our customers with Splunk implementation and solution. We also specialize in ES, ITSI, RBA, and Phantom. Today, Teja will be the one who will be discussing the topic and doing the demo. Let me have Teja introduce himself.
Hey, hello everyone. This is Teja. I'm a senior Splunk consultant in bitsIO Inc. I've been Splunking since 2017, and I have worked with small scale to enterprise level, worked with small scale to enterprise level customers. And I also have expertise in the premium apps like enterprise security and ITSI. I'll hand it over to Kalpana, so she will go over the housekeeping rules.
Next slide, Teja. Okay. Yeah, right. Every meeting has these rules. So we'll have a Q&A session right after the demo. As the demo is going on, and if you guys have any questions that pop up in your mind, go ahead and please put it in the chat. Also, please stay muted when you're not talking. These slides and the presentation, along with the feedback form, will be sent to you all. Please give your feedback as to any of the topics that you would like to, that you're interested in. So that way, or anything that could have been done better in this user group. So that way we can plan our next user group better to serve, your needs. And that's what the user group is about, and to help the Splunk community. Rather than wasting more time on talking, let me hand it over to Teja. Teja, here you go. It's all yours.
Yeah, thank you, Kalpana. So, yeah, the agenda for this user group is let's learn to build a dashboard using best practices, and that has some rules and regulations while we're building a dashboard. So yes, you can build a dashboard with a simple query without any index or without any source type, and still it works, but it might have impact your infrastructure, and you might see poor performance. So to follow the best practices, we'll discuss about how can we refine searches, how can we use a global search, and how can we use post-process searches, and how to use a scheduled reports and dashboards. That way the dashboard load more faster and we don't need to rerun the dashboard again and again. Okay, let's go by one. So when I say refine searches, so we need to specify index, source type, and source for each search that we perform. And did anyone had a question there, or? Okay, I heard something. Okay, yeah. So the second thing is we have to filter whatever we can. That is, let's say if I'm filtering on an action that is allowed or blocked, I have to filter it before the first pipe, so that I have the complete set set of data, and I can pipe it to a stats command or anything that needs to be visualized or get some statistics on. And then we have to select the time range accordingly. This makes a big difference in the performance. And limit using the wild character. If let's say if you are searching for a status code 400 or 4 or 3, instead of using the status equal 4 wild character, if you use that, then it might be looking for the status codes that you don't need. So let's say if you know what status code you need to use, then it's better to specify that. Avoid using not expression. So include what you want to search or what you want to see the results for, instead of using a not on that. And non-streaming commands. Non-streaming commands are such as stats. This needs to be given at the end of your generating command. So generating command is nothing but where it will bring you the results. And once you have the stats command, then everything after that will be done on the search at level. So that might be impact the performance. So let's go to the next slide. And yeah, global search. So what is my global search? So global search is also called as a base search. Base search is the most common search that is used in the dashboard if our dashboard has multiple panels in it. There is a way we can determine a base search is that first we need to create the dashboard, and we have to line up all our searches that we are going to use in this dashboard, and then look at the similarity between each searches or each panel, then come up with one particular base search. And this base search needs to be in a transforming manner. So it doesn't need, it shouldn't be in events. It should be in a transforming manner. That is, you have to use stats to get results out of the search. Okay, let's go to next slide. So now post-process search. So any search that is performed based on the base search is called as a post-process search. Here is an example. Index is internal and source type Splunk. Here we are doing a transforming command that is stats. Then we are doing a count by component and log level. And my post-process search will be what's the count of events or count by log level, how many one are critical or whatever we have, and that's the count. So this is the post process search that that will happen after the base search. So if we don't define a base search, then this post process search will result in zero results. So there will be no results to display. And the next thing is using a schedule report. So reports are knowledge objects saved from a search action, which can be events or table or any visualization. When you schedule a report to run in a regular interval, then we call it a schedule report. So that is a better way to view the results in a dashboard. You don't need to wait for the results to load. If you schedule a report in advance and use that or refer that in your dashboard. You can refer a scheduled report in two ways. One is using refer in the dashboard, and one is using load job, pipe and load job in the ad hoc search as well. We will see all the things that we talked about in a demo. Let me share my instance real quick. I hope everyone can see the search ad. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about first things, that is refined searches, right? So I can let me copy paste one thing real quick. Sorry. Okay. So here I'm looking at index main and the source type as span thread, and I'm looking for an action field and doing a stats count on app action and source IP. So, and then I'm doing a filter on action as blocked, right? So this is considered as a bad search. This can be refined a better way. Whereas instead of the wild character, I can just go use blocked instead of searching after the results or the first swipe. And this way, I'm doing a filter before the first swipe, and I'm good with the rule number one, filter before the first swipe. And the time range plays a key role here. So let's say I wanted to look at the task 24 hours, and yes, let's say if someone used this for all time, I'm not sure if it's really useful to get all time here. So time range plays a key role here in actual live environment. Since we are on a demo environment, I don't think we have much data here, so that's why the searches are resulting very quickly. But if you search for all time, it will take a longer period. And that's something, if you build using a default editor, then it might get you all time search, and users might not notice that it is running all time. And let's look about using not. So this is actually a bad search because we're using not category unknown, not category toss. And then let's say we are having like 8 categories, right? So we are restricting these two, but there will be some use cases where we have to use not. Then yes, we are okay to use not, but we have to, it is good if we can avoid using not in most of the cases. And let's talk about non-streaming commands at the end of each generating command. So let's see how a non-streaming command acts. So here, this is a transform command, and after here, this is a streaming command, but I'm using it after the stat. So this search operation will happen on the search ad instead of happening on the indexer level. So eval has a capability where it can do parallel processing on the indexes, and it's not dependent on each event. But yeah, here, since we are using it after the stats, that is a transforming command, that's a non-streaming command. So we will be restricted to perform this search on the search ad level. So all the results will be first loaded to the search ad, and search ad will be responsible to put it in the tabular format, and then performing an eval. So how can I avoid this? I just need to move this eval command before the first pipe, before the stats, and then if I use it, it still results the same set of results, but oh, I think I missed out a cat here. Yeah, it'll bring us the same set of results, and we are doing it in the right way. Okay, now let's move to the next topic, that is building a base search and post-process searches. So this is a dashboard example. This doesn't have any base search defined. So everything has its own search, and we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels, and each panel has its own search. Well, let me show you. So each panel has its own search, and everything is based on a action is allowed, and then we are doing a stats count by a signature, app, rule, and category, and a rule by source IP. So everything has its own search. Now I will go ahead and look at the similarity in it for each and every source. I know that my first generating command is the same in all the panels that I am using. So I will find out the similarity, and I can define my base search based on that. So now I know my base searches, and now I can create a dashboard using base search. So here is my definition for base search. Now I know the similarities between all the panels or searches that I'm using, and now I have that as my base search. And you would have seen I'm using a transforming command instead of the raw events, because that's a better way and a faster way you'll get the results loaded. So I'm using a transform command here, stats, and I'm using all the fields that will be needed for rest of the panels. For example, I need app, so I made sure I had app, and I need action, I made sure I had action field in it. So like that, you need to include all the fields that you will be using in your post-process search in the first base search. And then this is how we define the post-process search. I'm saying I need action as allowed, and I'm doing a stats count on app. And the same thing for rule, same thing for signature. And this is the syntax. I'll define with an ID here, and that is the base search, and I'm calling it in the search for one of the panel as base equal base search. That's the way you define a global search or a base search and post-process search. And this way, my search runs once, and all the searches, that is the panels, is dependent on the base search. That way, we're not calling the indexers, or we're not calling the generating command multiple times here. So let's say we are calling it once, and we're using it for 5 panels, the same set of results. Okay, so let's move on to the schedule report. So this is an example here, example dashboard, how we can reference and report and how fast this particular dashboard loads. And the second panel that you're seeing is without referencing the schedule report. It's just a regular ad hoc search that this has. Let me reload this, and you will see how fast schedule search shows the results. That's it. Within seconds, I got the result, but still the ad hoc search is still running. So if you see this search, it says it's 2 minutes ago. I have this report scheduled. I have this report scheduled 10 in the frequency of running it every 10 minutes. And this tells me that my report is 2 minutes old. So I am not getting the actual current stats, but it's anything that's happened before 3 minutes ago now. That's what the results I see. But whereas this particular panel that is without the referencing the schedule report, there's an ad hoc search. So it will be more updated with the events. Let's say if I have events in the last 5 minutes or so, I will have that included in this search. Whereas this is completely dependent on the last 10 minutes, whatever we have. That's the results that we do see. So this is the search that I scheduled, and it's running for last 90 days, and still it brings the results faster. And let me show you the XML here real quick. This is how we call a report in a dashboard using the ref attribute here. And schedule search is the report name. And this is the other way that we can call the report, and this is faster as well. You can use it in ad hoc search. It will be running for the same time range that we defined in the report, that is last 90 days. It won't take the current time range that we are specifying it here. It will ignore this time range. It will just use the time range that is defined in the report. And there's a And it's a very useful command. I use this in most of our customer places to get the data populated quickly. Okay. I think that's it with the demo, and I'll go back to the slides here real quick. Yeah, I think now it's open for Q&A.
I think Bob has a comment there
Oh,
with the base search using the table command.
Can you hear me? Am I unmuted?
yes, I can hear. I can hear you now.
Oh, okay, so I just had a question.
Mhm.
I understand the performance issues with the stats command is the last command in the base search. But if you need to have the individual events with, similar events with different timestamps, would you still recommend using the stats command for that and add this underscore time in the stats command?
Yes, yes, I still recommend that. So the table command my least preference, a command that I would use to get it in the base search. I will definitely use stats command, and I will include the field underscore time in the in the stats, and along with all the fields that you would need to use for the post process searches.
Yes, and so I've used these techniques a lot, and I can back you up by saying that using save searches with base searches really makes a huge difference in the performance of your dashboard.
Yes, yes. Particularly when we have a lot of data to search through, right? Since it's the demo environment, I
Yes,
don't think we see a lot of search delays here. But if it's in live environment, we will see a lot of improvement by using this base searches. Yeah. No, thank you, Bob, for
yep,
sharing it.
yep.
Oh, okay. So I have a use case question. We have a ton of dashboards they're not real time. We'll call them near real time. They refresh every 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, basically, because we've got some really fast transaction processing clients that we need to make sure they're working properly. So will a base search? I understand how a base search works for, I'm going to call it static dashboards that don't change that much. Will a base search from a performance point of view be effective for dashboards that get refreshed with live data quickly?
Okay, so with the live data and the time range that we will be looking at here is anywhere between 3 minutes to 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, thereabouts. Yeah, our fastest dashboard, I think, we've got one that refreshes every 1 minute, but mostly it's 2, 3, and 5 minutes.
Okay, so it refreshes 2, 3, 5 minutes. Yes, and how about the data? And what's the time range that you are using in your searches?
We use, since we are doing high volume transaction processing monitoring, our time range is at most, in the 2 minute one, our time range is at most, I think it's 10 minutes. So we're not looking at, days worth of data or an hour's worth of data, but in that 10 minutes, the number of events that come across are probably, depending on the time of the year, about 40,000 events. So, and I've always looked at base processing as a really good, efficient way of getting a dashboard, taking less stress off the processing. But I can't. I've tried it, but I can't seem to realize gains that I would expect, and I'm just not sure if it's. I'm doing everything exactly what you're doing. It's just faster to not do base processing. But I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong, which I don't know. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. I think it's just it's how we actually operate Splunk.
I just have a quick question there. So, so with the base search, one thing is that you're actually using multiple panels with the same search. So that's when the base search comes into handy, right? So do you have multiple panels using the similar search and similar results?
Yes, it's we slice and dice the number of events in different ways. So we'll look at response time. We'll look at response codes. We'll look at whatever data quality or transaction quality metrics we need out of those particular events. So yes, all in the dashboard that I'm thinking of, it's got 9 panels, of which 5 of them or 6 of them all use the same original data. The other 3 are different parts, different data. But yeah, to me, a base processing would work out great. But like I said, I know I'm missing something. I just don't know what it is.
How does your base search look like? Is it like actual events, or you're using a transforming command?
Using transform, I'm doing stats. I thought about doing a table also, but I don't run into. I have too many events. I can't say it that way, but you know what I mean. The stats command from a transforming point of view gets my data grouped properly. I've done it with a table, and it's just not. I don't know. I'm going to say it's uglier, if you don't know what that means. But yeah, to me, I should track down a command for you, but it's a fairly simple, uncomplicated base processing search. It's pretty much give me these particular transactions from this particular client over the last 10 minutes, broken down by time, response code, transaction duration, and whatever else I need. It's like 4 or 5 different things I break down there. So I have to look. I swear I read something in one of the Splunk documentations, or maybe it was on the Splunk community boards, that base processing may not increase the speed of your dashboards, and that's what I'm looking for, is actually get the dashboards to load faster.
Okay. I see. So the base process search and the post process will help you decrease the load on that particular dashboard, right? We will just run it once, and then that results will be used by multiple panels. So if we are looking at way faster results, then I would encourage you scheduling the base search. So that way it's readily available, right? So let's say you said every 10 minutes is what the time range, right? I will encourage you to schedule that particular base search for every 10 minutes. And then the way the base search is loaded faster, and the searches that is the post-process searches, right? That will just get the results from the base search, which is already scheduled and readily available. So it doesn't need to run when you're opening the dashboard.
But I think it needs to be 2 to 3 minutes refresh, right? So I think that probably will not work if you want it live.
Okay, I see. The last, the 2 minutes is what the refresh rate is.
Right. Yeah, I think Bob was saying something. Bob, are you on the call still? Or you're muted?
Yeah, I was just curious. Randy was mentioning that he had 9 panels, and 3 of them have decidedly different data, but 6 of them share the same data.
Right.
And I was just wondering if the current dashboard has 9 inline searches.
Yes,
and I
does.
think you answered the question. So I would be curious as to why you don't see any improvement by having all 6 use the same base search.
Yeah, and I agree. That's the part that gets me stumped. Is I would think my dashboard panels would load faster, but you know, it's funny. They might load faster, but it's not noticeably faster. So
Significant,
I should probably do some
yeah.
timings and see. Yeah.
But
So it's funny.
does it have delay though? Do you see delay in loading any of the panels?
Depends on what. So we've got some peak times during the year. Definitely during the peak times, but I think that's just because we're indexing like crazy. So we're doing, so our indexers and search peers are just super busy. But I've heard various complaints. But again, I think it's one of those perception things. You know, it's people are used to a certain speed, and if it's slower, they start complaining. If it's faster, they just move along and go great.
But if it doesn't have to be near real time, Randy, I think you can just enable this scheduling them 10 minutes and then it will load much faster for sure. But the real time data won't come in, right? So it will be 10 minutes delayed all the time.
Right, and that won't work in our environment because one of our clients, for example, Walmart, they a 10-minute delay on Walmart will just give them money like crazy.
Okay, gotcha. But it definitely should run, because if you had run 6 different searches, then that would take 6 times the effort and all that.
Yep,
and this is one search.
And I, you know, that's why I look at base searches. That's why it's my go-to idea, because in addition to this dashboard, we've probably got about another 20. And I think one of the dashboards has got like 24 inline searches on it. So every time people refresh that one, I'm kicking off 24 separate jobs. So that dashboard is not efficient at all. That one, at least that one isn't. I think that's one of the 10-minute dashboards. That one I know I can convert to base processing, and I should see definitely some efficiency gains, not necessarily on a dashboard level, but definitely on the Splunk indexer concurrent search job / processing at the indexer level. So yeah, I know I've got some improvement to do. It's the ones where it's the near real time ones where I just don't see the. I probably go for the next user group. I will get some timings with and without, and see if it's just me being picky, or if there really is some improvement in there and it's just not noticeable to me.
Okay, that'll be awesome. Are you on the Splunk user group, the Slack channel?
Yep, there. I think it's actually I'm over there right now. Let's see.
Okay. Yeah, I think, we can chat there, and maybe we can help you with the search you have later on offline.
Yep, it's Randy.Moore out there in Splunk in the Slack chat.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thanks.
Hi, this is Becky. Actually, I work with Bob. And I just wanted to comment on Randy's. One thing he said was something that Bob implemented for some of our, we have a very big site. So instead of having a dashboard with, 24 panels, sometimes people feel like you need to see all, but you could have a drill down. So maybe just have some small subset of a dashboard with some small subset. And then if you click, then you can see more. And so make it easy for people, but you don't necessarily, 24 panels is just crazy. I don't know, I can't remember what I think typically we don't recommend more than 9. And then you're also going to hit your quota, depends on how you have it set for your users, how many concurrent searches they can run at once. And so you'll load some, and then they'll have to just wait, etc. 24 really seems excessive. So if there's some way you can re-architect that. And then the other thing I just want to mention, and I don't know if you have PS and stuff, but I know that There are ways, if you are able to, you can get the Splunk experts, especially with respect to dashboards, to come in. We just recently had something like this for somebody, and look over your dashboards and give you a lot of recommendations. If you have those kinds of credits with your Splunk professional, whatever
Yeah,
organization, Splunk, just a suggestion.
that's a good call. I have to go see how many Splunk PS credits we have, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, if you have those, yeah, free, we have to use them. But those are good comments, Becky. I think I do know that when we did implementations to customers, we always recommend them not to go more than 9 or 10 dashboard or panels within a dashboard, and it might also have those concurrent search limit and all that will be there too. So yeah, those are good comments. Any other questions?
Hey, Korea and Simone, do you guys want to share your email ID on the chat? So if anybody has any questions later, so they can reach out.
Kalpanak, we can't hear properly.
Okay, is this better? I don't know what happened today. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, yes.
I was saying that you and Teja can put your email IDs on the chat. So if anybody wants to reach out later for any questions, you guys will be able to help them. So if you can just go and put it in the chat for them. Your email ID and Teja can put this.
Yep.
Okay. And are there any other questions, guys?
So I'm actually just curious because this is the first one. I think we probably did a good job. Any of you from actually Splunk employees? I don't think so. Then
Charlie's moving.
Oh.
I'm actually an employee, but yeah, I was a customer. They ate me up. Hey, Liam. Hey, Becky.
Oh, yeah.
With the,
I should do this.
okay, awesome.
More from Splunk Trust on this call.
Yeah, I guess everybody knows Alim. Alim doesn't have to get introduced.
That was a fantastic session, Krishna. And I thought it was amazing just to get the follow-up then from Randy and Bob as well. Just brought it to life big time. Really, really good. Really good.
So anybody from Springfield, Illinois here? I mean, other than bitsIO team. Or Illinois, maybe Chicago. I'm just trying to see what areas we have the people from.
So
Yes, sir.
I'm crashing from Chicago just to see what's up, just because it was easy and it was all virtual. So hi.
Yep.
Somebody said yes for Springfield.
Yep. Just Randy, I'm out of about 35 miles northwest of Chicago.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, no, that was an excellent presentation on the use. I've done that for some panels, for some dashboard panels to use the base search. And the other thing to remember about the base search is you can have more than one base search. You can name them, and then you can control which one you bring up based on their name. And then also remember, you can do there's a finalize command where you can save the job ID, because there are sometimes where it's useful in the SPL to not just start at the base search, but do a join on the results of the base search. And you need to be able to do a load ID for that. And then the other thing I was going to comment on, I have seen dashboards that have tons of panels, and where the panels are very small and they have like single digit numbers in them, like there'll be the base search to get most of the information, and then they'll summarize it down to a single key performance indicator that is best presented as a single number. And so sometimes you'll see dashboard panels with 5 or 6 of these numbers right across the board, and they're all based on the same data. So use the base search to do that, and that's how you can end up with a ton of panels. Somebody was saying that panels with 9 or 10 dashboards with 9 or 10 panels are generally a bad thing, and they are, unless you just have individual numbers showing up.
I have
And
an
then the base search.
example. I have an example of that where I have probably 50 different single chart panels on one dashboard. And it's based on about 12 different saved reports, scheduled reports, and the dashboard renders consistently within 15 seconds. So yeah, you can, if you do it right, you can put a huge amount of data on a single dashboard.
And is this using the like saved search or load jobs, something like that?
Saved searches. So I have a ton of knowledge objects that are pre-built panels that I can copy paste into different dashboards, but they all refer to saved searches in each one of those panels, and they're multiple side-by-side charts within the same panel, and the top of the panel begins with the load search results, and then each one of the charts refer to one of the data metrics in that saved search. So I can string them across. Like some of them, I have 7 across in one row that I've loaded into my dashboard. So I guess I'm just bearing witness that I'm doing that currently, and I have, I think, over 50 different single charts in my massively humongous dashboard, and it loads consistently in 15 seconds.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great to know. It almost looked like ITSI, service panel dashboard.
Yeah.
ITSI.
I put a link in the chat to just I just logged into the production system and just copied out a dashboard. Just to show you, that's exactly what Thomas was talking about. That's exactly what's being done here. We're doing some KPIs and just bringing it down to some single value panels. The bad part is the way the data is joined. I'm pulling across different indexes, same source types, but different indexes. So I'm pulling, if I had to do a base search, I would end up having to pull from 4 or 5 different indexes to actually get this data. So it's interesting. I'll see if I can get this what's called declassified or sanitized, and we'll just go through it. I mean, honestly, it's just, to me, it's a really good use case for base processing, and but I don't want you guys to fix my dashboard. That's not it. It's just more of a discussion point.
Right. Yeah. No, that's great input. If you can declassify and share with us, I think that will be great. A lot of customers can probably make use of that.
Randy, is that dashboard one that's shown on a big television then somewhere?
It's, well, with COVID, the answer is no. but it's used. Let me think about this. The answer is it's on at least 3 televisions that I'm aware of.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. And it is a red, yellow, green kind of dashboard. So
yeah. That's really good.
Awesome. I think we within the dashboards, any of you think we can cover different topics within the dashboards? I know one topic. I'm pretty sure some customers want their users to not feel like it's Splunk, but they're just looking at the dashboard. So it's like a stealth mode of Splunk. I don't know if any of you came across that use case.
in like getting rid of the edit and the export and the Splunk header and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. 100%. We don't. Some of our users, especially executives, don't want to see it. They don't really care. They just want just nice, pretty screen. right? But yeah, for the most part, we leave all the Splunk stuff on there, but we do have a couple dashboards that everything's just, there's nothing Splunky about them.
If you want to get into the world of HTML integration with your dashboard, you can do a lot of different things, but it's really a lot of piece parts and extra code. I try to avoid it, but you can jazz things up a bit if you use HTML.
I like putting the default Splunk stuff into like a Splunk header in the nav bar, so it's still there if someone wants it, but it's not cluttering if someone doesn't.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. I had one use case where customer wanted their users to not search any indexes because if they do like a open the search window from there, then they will have index equal to whatever, right? So they didn't want anybody to look at their data, so they just wanted this to look like non-Splunk, and they can't do any of those buttons or export or anything.
Yeah, I've seen that too. It should be noted though that that's just like taping a sign that says "Do not look behind the curtain," because you can get around that very easily.
Well, can't you change the attributes so that those buttons, that pull down panel at the end of your query panel, just not show up at all?
Right, but if I go in and type /search on the end of my URL, now I have a search bar.
Ah, okay.
So there are ways to disable that within an app, but changing the nav is not the secure way to do that.
Okay.
Right. I think, Nate, we did disable like they can't access search app or something based on their role. I recall we did that even if they typed search on the URL. Maybe I have to go back and check my notes.
This is Becky. I could imagine that, I mean, you wouldn't want to disable searching on the role, right? So I don't know how you would just do that disabling, but it sounds like that would be a very interesting solution.
Yeah, I have to go back, check what I did with the customer, but they did do something where they couldn't get to the search app.
So yeah, I had a customer that they want to just showcase the dashboard, but they don't want to clone the dashboard or look at the dashboard, other dashboards within an app. So basically, I had to go change the navigation a little bit and restrict them from the default search app. So basically all the users, right, from role user, everyone will have access to the search app. And then I have to go remove, create a new role that doesn't have any inheritance and remove the inheritance. And then I had them just give access to this particular dashboard and create a new app, and they will have access to only that particular app. So by using that, I was able to restrict them to just look at the dashboard or the app that I give permission to them. They cannot go change the URL saying that /search. It won't take them. It will throw an error saying that the search or whatever page not found. And if they do use dashboards, it's the same thing. They won't get anything. It will say page not found.
Yeah, I think something similar. I did that, like with the navigation menu.
Yeah,
I think.
Just like very restricted. They cannot do anything except just see the dashboard loaded.
I think you're queuing up part 2 of this user group, Krishna.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was our intention too. I think we can probably come up with those. Yeah.
Really good.
Awesome.
Cool.
Also, so I think, yeah, Kalpana, we do have some gift card, I guess, right?
Yes, I was just waiting for the Q&A, to get done. And then I have entered all the names except bitsIO, the company folks in the wheel. And if there are no more questions, I'm ready to share the wheel and spin it and see who's the lucky winner for today for the $25 Amazon gift card.
Yeah, let me stop sharing my screen so you can share, Kalpana.
Okay. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Cool.
Yeah, so I thought, we'll do this. And thank you all, for coming. It was very interactive, and hopefully, whoever attended are getting some value out of this. And if you would like to see more topics related to this or a different topic too, please put that in the feedback form that you will be getting, or even just, email us, and we'll, the next user group, we can have that topic, because this is all about helping, customers and the community, right? So yeah, please do that. And hopefully I didn't miss anybody else. I just didn't put our company folks' names there. So giving a chance to others. So I'm going to just spin the wheel and we'll see what happens.
Oh, leave me off. I'm an employee. I'm not eligible for any giveaway like this.
Oh, sorry, Nate. I didn't know you were from Splunk. Sorry about that.
Okay,
Anyways,
so it's Randy though.
Anyways, Randy got it.
Hey, congrats, Randy.
Perfect winner. Perfect winner.
All righty then.
So yes, it's for Randy. Randy, if you don't mind, can you please put your email, privately to Teja or to someone or to me? So that way, if you don't want to share with everybody, we will, have your email ID and we will send the, gift card to you.
Well, I'll just put in the chat. I mean, you can track me down easily, so no problem.
Yeah.
There we go. It's there.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
I think this is great. People, everybody joining and making it interactive was very encouraging for us. We will try to do as more, interesting, useful topics going forward.
Are you looking to do one each month or each couple of months, or what are you thinking?
Monthly ones, right, Teja?
Yeah, we're shooting for monthly ones currently.
Yes, that's excellent.
I think because it's virtual too, it's easy for us to host a session.
Yeah. My ones used to be all physical, and it was really tough. You got to work 10 times as well. You got to work hard always. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's really good because it's like midnight here in London, but yet we can still collaborate. It's wonderful.
You really are in England. I wasn't sure if that was just a picture background.
No, I'm Irish, but I live here in London.
Yeah, I got it.
I run the user group here in London.
I got the accent part. I'm like, hey, but all right.
Awesome. I think
we're almost done. And if anybody wants to hang out a little longer, they are welcome to. But everybody else, if you have something else going on, feel free. I think the user group itself is done, and we will stop recording, and then we can chat if need be.
Awesome. Well done, Kalpana.
Hey, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Aleem, and thank you, everyone.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks. I'm gonna drop.
Bye.
Have a good night, guys.
Take care.